In the ancient Vedic texts, it is written that when Mahadev opens his third eye, the universe is revealed as it truly is. Fire pours forth, illusion burns away, and only the truth remains. For thousands of years, we believed this was purely a symbol, a metaphor for spiritual awakening. But what if it wasn't a metaphor? What if the ancients were describing a biological reality? A piece of organic hardware buried deep inside your skull that modern science is only just beginning to understand? When you walk into a room and sense tension or feel a sudden danger before it happens, you are using a sensory system that bypasses your eyes and ears. We rely on 5 senses to navigate the physical world, but the ancients spoke of the Ajna Chakra, the command center of intuition. Biologically, this aligns remarkably well with the pineal gland. Buried deep in the center of the brain, this tiny pinnacle-shaped organ was dubbed the seat of the soul by Descartes. It produces melatonin and is light-sensitive, literally, a vestigial eye inside your skull. Is it possible that this gland is the hardware for the software we call the sixth sense? Let's strip away the mysticism for a moment. Biologically, why would nature evolve a third eye? Imagine our prehistoric ancestors. Survival didn't depend on analyzing data. It depended on a split-second feeling that a predator was watching. Those with a heightened sensitivity to subtle environmental shifts, changes in air pressure, magnetic fields, or unseen movement survived. What we call spiritual intuition today might be the echo of an ancient primal survival mechanism that kept humanity alive. We live in the age of data. If you can't measure it, does it exist? Science struggles with intuition because it is subjective. You cannot force a gut feeling on demand in a lab. This has led many to dismiss the third eye as fantasy, but dismissing it means ignoring a massive part of our cognitive potential. We are trying to measure a quantum instrument with a ruler. The failure isn't in the sense. It is in our tools of measurement. So what is the third eye actually seeing? Psychologists define intuition as knowing without knowing how you know. It is the answer arriving before the equation. Unlike analytical thinking, which is slow and linear, step by step, the intuitive mind is holographic. It grasps the whole picture instantly. In Vedic tradition, this is prajna insight. In neuroscience, it is rapid, non-conscious processing. Mahadev is often known as the Lord of Vibration, Om. Physics confirms that the universe is not solid matter, but energy vibrating at different frequencies. If we are bioelectrical entities, is it so far-fetched to think we can sense these vibrations? When you get a bad vibe from a person, you might be physically detecting a discordant frequency, much like a musical note that sounds off even if you can't see the instrument. Your conscious mind is the tip of the iceberg, processing about 40 bits of data per second. Your subconscious? It processes millions. It records the micro-expression on a stranger's face, the change in temperature, the pheromones. The third eye opening is simply the moment the subconscious sends a massive data file to your conscious mind labeled as a feeling. It's not magic. It's extreme data processing. The brain is an incessant pattern recognition machine. Throughout your life, you have built a database of billions of experiences. When the third eye warns you, it is often because your brain has cross-referenced the current moment with that database, and found an anomaly. That "ah-oh" feeling is your brain flagging a deviation from the pattern before your logical mind even knows what the pattern is. We often speak of a gut feeling. This isn't a metaphor. Science has discovered the enteric nervous system, ENS, a second brain in your stomach lining with over 100 million neurons. It communicates directly with your brain via the vagus nerve. Sometimes the third eye isn't in your forehead, it's in your belly. Your gut is literally analyzing chemical and hormonal signals and sending warnings upstream. Research suggests the heart generates the body's strongest electromagnetic field, detectable several feet away. Some theories propose the heart acts as a sensory organ, decoding environmental fields before the brain does. When your heart sinks, it may be receiving energetic information directly. In the yogic system, the heart chakra is the bridge to the third eye. You cannot access higher wisdom without passing through the heart's intelligence. Have you ever watched someone get hurt and physically felt it yourself? That's your mirror neurons firing. These brain cells allow us to simulate the experience of others. Highly intuitive people empaths may have hyperactive mirror systems. What feels like psychic reading of another person might be a profound biological ability to run a simulation of their emotional state inside your own hardware. Moving to the edge of science, we encounter the cosmic dancer. Physicists know that particles can be entangled, remaining connected across vast distances. If consciousness operates on a quantum level, as some theories suggest, then our minds might be non-local. The third eye could be the access point to a field of information that exists outside of time and space, aligning with the Vedic concept of the Akashic records. There is a phenomenon known as the sheep-goat effect. People who believe in intuition, sheep, score higher on tests than those who don't, goats. This suggests your belief system acts as a biological filter. If you firmly decide the third eye is a myth, your reticular activating system, RAS, will actively block intuitive signals from reaching your conscious awareness. You literally blind your own inner eye. Just as some have 20/20th vision, the sixth sense exists on a spectrum. It is not binary. Mahadev is the Lord of Yoga, and Yoga means union or connection. Some are naturally connected. Others are disconnected. Most of us are somewhere in the middle, hearing the signals but ignoring them due to the noise of modern life. In his aspect as Rudra, the destroyer, Shiva represents the intuition of survival. This variation of the sense manifests as pure warning. It is the sudden urge to not get on a plane or to turn the car around. This is likely tied to the amygdala, the fear center overriding the logical brain to preserve life. It is the most primal form of the third eye. In his aspect as the creator, intuition feels like a gravitational pull toward the new. This is the entrepreneur who knows a risky bet will pay off, or the artist who sees the painting before it's painted. This isn't fear, it's flow. It is the brain predicting a positive outcome based on subtle patterns the conscious mind hasn't seen yet. Some have a third eye tuned to emotional frequencies. They don't just understand sadness. They feel the weight of it in the room. This is social intuition, the ability to read the unstated dynamics of a group. It is a high-functioning integration of the mirror neuron system and emotional intelligence. Creative intuition. Ask a genius where their idea came from, and they rarely say logic. They say it came in a flash. This is the Sahasrara, the crown connection. It is the brain's ability to synthesize disparate information into a new whole. It is the eureka moment where the subconscious serves up a solution on a silver platter. Athletes call this being in the zone. A martial artist doesn't think about the punch. The body moves before the thought occurs. This is the third eye bypassing the brain entirely and wiring directly into the nervous system and muscle memory. It is intelligence without thought. Some are tuned to the environment, Prakriti. They feel a storm hours before it rains. They feel the heaviness of a building with a dark history. This may be a heightened sensitivity to barometric pressure or geomagnetism, a biological weather station often dismissed as moodiness. If the third eye is a biological function, it can be trained. We spend years educating our logic, but ignore our intuition. By ignoring it, the neural pathways atrophy. But neuroplasticity means the brain can change. You can physically restructure your brain to be more receptive to these signals. Shiva is often depicted in deep meditation, dhyana. Why? Because intuition is a whisper and modern life is a scream. You cannot hear the third eye over the noise of tick-tock and traffic. Meditation isn't just spiritual. It is the deliberate practice of quieting the prefrontal cortex so that deeper, quieter signals can be heard. Your body is the antenna. Start paying attention to somatic markers. When you have a decision to make, does your stomach tighten? Does your breath catch? Or do you feel an expansion in the chest? These physical tells are the third eye trying to communicate through the densest part of your reality, your biology. Treat intuition like a muscle. Play low-stakes games. Guess who is calling before you look. Guess which elevator will open first. Don't judge the results, just notice them. This simple practice signals to your reticular activating system that you are interested in this data, prompting it to let more signals through the filter. We are trained to edit our thoughts. You get a flash of insight, and your logic immediately says, "That's stupid." To open the third eye, you must honor the first flash, the raw data, before the internal editor creates a narrative. Act on small hunches and see where they lead. Become a scientist of your own consciousness. Keep a record. Write down your hunches and the outcomes. Over time, you will see the pattern of how your specific intuition speaks to you. Is it a voice, a feeling, a visual image? Our world is left-brain dominant logic. The third eye thrives in the right brain, creative, holistic. To boost it, do things that have no logical goal. Paint, dance, walk in nature. These activities loosen the grip of rigid logic and allow the intuitive mind to breathe. This is the final test. Is it the third eye, or is it anxiety? The rule of thumb: fear is loud, frantic, and emotional. Intuition is quiet, calm, and neutral. It feels like a simple fact. Learning to distinguish the voice of trauma from the voice of truth is the ultimate discipline. The debate shouldn't be science versus the sixth sense. It should be science and the sixth sense. By integrating our sharp, analytical minds with the deep, rapid processing of our intuition, we become whole. We navigate reality not just with a map, but with an internal compass. Acknowledging these hidden capacities doesn't make us less rational. It makes us more complete human beings. Whether you believe it's spiritual guidance, quantum connection, or just advanced subconscious pattern recognition, the experience of the sixth sense is real. It is a frontier within us waiting to be explored. Pay attention to the whispers. Trust your gut. You might just find that reality is far vaster and far more connected than you ever imagined. This is Mind Soul Reality. See you in next quest.